Hello, brilliant minds. You are welcome to class today. I want to believe we have an awesome day. All right, today we are going to be looking at some questions under variation and logical reasoning. Okay, so I want to believe you must have done all these topics at school, and online we have treated a lot of questions under variation. So today we are going to be looking at past questions, Waec past questions, Neco questions, and other type of questions. All right. Okay. So I want you to get yourself ready for today's class, and don't forget to invite your mates. Let them know the class have started, and also ensure you get your writing materials ready because today's class is going to be interactive. So we are going to engage ourselves. So get yourself ready for the class. So in few minutes time, we are going to start. Don't forget, as you are joining the class, give the class a thumb. And if you are new in this channel, ensure that you click on subscription button. All right, so let's quickly do that. And in a few seconds, we are going to start. Thank you. All right. You're welcome once again, everyone. Okay, so the question we are starting with is on the board. So before we start, if you are just joining this platform for the first time, I'm employing you to click on the substitution button, and also make sure you give a thumb to the class, whether you are new in this channel or you have been in the channel for some time. So ensure that you click on the substitution button and like button. All right, okay. So now let's quickly look at this problem we have on. This will be the first problem we are going to look at under variation. Okay, so we have A is directly proportional to B and inversely as C. If B is decreased by 20% and C is increased by 40%, what is the percentage change in A? Now, given that A equals to 20% of B and B is 100 and C is equal to 50% of A, calculate the connecting formula. All right, so you have to obtain the connecting formula. So that is the problem on the board. All right, so how do we go about this? Now, the first thing is to write the relationship between A, B, and C. All right, let me see. I hope every one of us are in the class. All right, okay, so now the first thing is to write the relationship between A, B, and C. So we have A is directly proportional to B and inversely as C. Okay, so once we have this, what it implies is that A equals to KB over C, where K is constant. Okay, K is a constant. So that's the first thing to do. All right, now let's go further. Now B is decreased by 20%. Now the value of B is decreased by 20%. So now we need to get an expression for value of B that is decreased by 20%. So now let's call that B1. You can call that B1. Let's call it B1. So we have B1 for that. So, and that gives us, now you reduce 100 by 20. So that gives you 80 over 100 B. So B is decreased by 20%. So 100% is 100 over 100. So that means when B is not decreased or increased, that is 100%. If I say you score 100%, that is you score 100 over 100. So if I say that your percentage, your 100 have been reduced by 20%, that means that you are not scoring 100 again. That means what you score is now 80 over 100. So 80 over 100 of B is equivalent to this statement. B is decreased by 20%. So we can simplify this. Now this gives us 8 over 10B. Okay, so now let's look at the second one, which is the C. Let's call that C1. C1, you can see C is increased by 40%. So that means it has gone beyond 100. So it's increased by 40%. So that will give us what? Now you add 40 to 100. You know, initially is what? 100 over 100. So once it is increased by 40, so you have 140 over 100 C. And that is the same thing as 14 over 10 C. So this cancels this. So you have 14 over 10 C. Now the question wants us to get the percentage change in A. Percentage change in A. So that means we need an expression for change in A. So we have A1, making use of this relationship, so we have A1 equals to K B1 over C1. All right. This one, there have been changes on them. All right. B1, C1, and A1. So we want to see the percentage increase or decrease in A. Okay, now let's plug in the value of B1 and C1 into this equation. Let's see what we are going to have. So now this turns to A1 equals to K times B1. What is the value of B1? That is 8 over 10B divided by C1. I'm putting the division sign here because C1 is a fraction. So that is what? 14C over 10. Okay. Hope you understand that. So the next thing now is to turn this to multiplication. Now we swap this. So we have A1 equals to K times 8B over 10 times 10 over 14C. Okay, so that is what we have. So from here, this will cancel this. So we now have A1 equals to, now let's see, we have 8 over 14. So what we are left with, the alphabet we are left with here is K B over C. That's what we are left with. This K times B all over C. So this 14 is this, and this 8 we have. So still the same thing. So now this is multiplying itself with this. Okay. Now, when you look here, A is the same thing as KB over C. So we can plug in the value of A here. So this is the same thing as A, what we have here. So that means A1 equals to 8 over 14 times A. So times A, because this is actually A. All right. So now the question wants us to get the percentage decrease or increase, because we just want to know the percentage change in A. So now we have to express this one in percentage. So how do we do that? Can you tell me now? You are going to do this for me. All right. What is going to be the percentage of 8 over 14? So that is what I'm giving you now. What is the percentage of 8 over 14? Of course, now you can simplify this one down. That's the same thing as 4 over 7. Okay, percentage of 8 over 14. So now do that and drop your answer in the comment section. So what is the percentage of 8 over 14? Or let's write it this way. A1 equals to 4 over 7A. So percentage, let's convert this one to percentage. So what do you have? Yes, I want you to drop your answer in the comment section. So what do you have? Anyone? Okay, I can see 57.143. That's Bolaon. Yes. Any other person? Yes, I can see Modupe 57.143. Yes. Yes, others should drop their answer. Make sure you are doing something. Okay, so yes. Okay, I can see. Okay, I can see Habib. Yes, Folashade. That's good. So I'm waiting for others to drop their answers. Okay, okay. All right. So now let us see how we're expected to do this. Okay, so we want to convert this to percentage. So I don't know how you did yours. So you're expected to do it this way, this times 100%. 4/7 times 100%. So now 4/7 times 100% is still the same thing as 4/7 because 100% is 1. 100% means 100/100, and over 100/100 is the same thing as 1. So now let's see now. So let's use this to multiply this. So when you do that, you are going to have 400/7. Okay, can we go through this now? So now 7 goes in 40 because 7 cannot go in 4. 7 goes in 40. What do you have? So you have 5. That is 35. So you'll be left with 50, right? 5. So you put that 5 in front of this next 0. That gives you 50. Okay. So you now say 7 goes in 50. That is going to give you 7 because I know that 7 times 7 is 49. Okay. So that's going to give me 7. So I will be left with 1. So now I need to add 0 here. So I'll put a point here. So I'll ask myself, 7 goes in 10. That is 1. And that remains what? It remains 3. Okay. So we have 3. Now you put 0 at the back of 3. How many 7 are you going to see there? That's going to be 4. Okay. So that is 4. And that gives you 28, right? So you are left with 20. So 7 goes in 20. That is 2. So you have to, and so on. All right. So we can stop there. All right. So that means what we have here now, we have A1 equals to 57.142 over 100 A. Okay. All right. So now, what is the percentage change in A now? So how do we get this? Now we just look at it. This what we have here at the top supposed to be 100. So it has reduced by what? So all we just need to do is just to subtract this from 100. So you can quickly do the workings there over there because of our time. So we have 57.142 minus 100. So now, so the difference now is going to be 42% decrease, 42.86% decrease. So that's going to be the change in value of A when C is decreased by 20 and the C is increased by 40%. This is what we are going to have. So, and this is the answer to the first part of the question. I want to believe you all get that. Okay, so just subtract this from 100. So once you subtract what you have here from 100, the leftover is the change in value of A. Now let's move down to the second part of the problem. Now the question says, given that A is 20% of A, B is 100, and C is 50% of A, obtain the connecting formula. So how do we go about this? How do we go about this? Now let's look at it. A is 20% of B. Now, and B itself is 100. So we have been given. So when B is 100. Okay, so to get A now, we just say 20%. 20% of 100, that gives you 20. So that means A is 20. So this cancel this. You get that? Now let's look at the third one, C. What is C? C is 50% of A. So 50% of A, excuse me, 50% of A is 20, so 50% is going to be 10. So how do we get that? We have 50 over 100 times this. So this cancel this cancel this. So 5 times 2, that gives you 10. All right, so we have A to be 20, C to be 10, and B is 100. So now we are going to plug this into this equation that we have here. So we have A, which is what? 20 equals to K times 100 over C is 10. So this we cancel 10 here. So I have 20 equals to 10K. So from here you can divide both sides by 10K. Okay, so we have 20 over 10 equals to K. So therefore, K equals to 2. So this is the proportionality constant. So we can hence find the connecting formula. So what is going to be the connecting formula? Now, let's come here, we go there. Connecting formula, we have A equals to, now in place of K, you put 2 there, you have 2B over C is the required connecting formula. So, and this is the answer to the problem. I want to believe we all get at that. So we are moving down to another question. So we are going to be looking at some series of questions. Don't forget, I'm still going to look at logical reasoning. So let's set ourselves ready for questions for today. Now, let's move down to another question here. Okay. All right. Yes, this is another question which I want us to read carefully, and let's get the way you are expected to solve this problem. All right. So let's look at the problem. Now, the time a revolution of a planet around the sun is proportional to d raised to the power of 3 over 2, where d is the distance of the planet from the sun. Now, compare the times of revolution of the two planets, one of which is 25 times the distance of the other from the sun. Okay, so before we solve this, if you are just joining this platform for the first time, ensure you click on the notification button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to give a like to the class. Thank you. All right, so now the question is talking about a planet revolving around the sun, right? So we now have two planets now this time around, which the distance between each other is described this way, and such that one is 25 times the other in terms of distance. Okay, so now the question wants us to get, now we have to compare, the distance between each other. So that is what we want to compare the times of, okay, we have to compare the times of revolution, yes, the times of revolution, okay, of the two planets. So that is what the question wants us to do. All right, now let's look at the question. Now, variation first. The time a revolution of planet revolve the sun is proportional to d raised to the power of 3 over 2. Now, the question is talking about time of revolution. So we start by saying let t, capital letter T, to be equals to time of revolution. Okay, so if we have that, so let's interpret the question now. The time a revolution of a planet around the sun is proportional to d. This is proportional to d raised to the power of 3 over 2. Hope you get that. Where d is the distance of the planet from the sun. Okay. Now we can write this as t equals to k d raised to the power of 3 over 2, where k is a constant. K is constant. It's constant. Now, this is where we are going to. Now, compare the times of revolution. Compare the times of revolution. So we want to compare t now. Compare the times of revolution of the two planets, one of which is 25th times the distance of the other from the sun. Okay, so now that means we are talking about two planets now. All right, so now let's look at the first planet. The first planet is going to look like this. So the first planet time of revolution around the sun will be t, which is equals to k d raised to the power of d raised to the power of 3 over 2. Okay, so now the second planet, which distance is 25 times that of the distance of the first one from the sun. Okay, so that means distance 2 now, or the second distance of the planet now. So we have, let's call it d2. This one should be 1. This should be 1. So this is d2. Now d2 is 25 times the other. So it's going to be 25 times d1. Okay, so that is going to be the distance of the second planet from the sun. I hope you understand that. The first distance of the first planet is d1. The second one is going to be 25 times the distance of the second one, which is 25 times d1. Hope you understand that. Now, let us now get the time of revolution of the second planet. So that is making use of this variation. We have T2 will be equals to K. You know, this is now the distance. So it's going to be 25 D1 raised to power of 3 over 2. Do you get that now? Okay, so now let us do small mathematics. Let's try and break this one down. This is the same thing as K. Now this one is going to be the root of this. So it will be on each of them. So we have 25 raised to power of 3 over 2. And this is going to be D1 3 over 2 raised to power 3 over 2. Okay, so, and this gives you what? Okay, now this is going to be the root of 25. So square root of 25 raised to power of 3, d raised to power of 3 over 2. Hope you get that. So, and that is going to give you k times 5 raised to power of 3 times d raised to power of 3 over 2. Do you get that? Because square root of 25 is 5. So we have 5 times 5 times 5. That gives you what? 125 k d1. Okay, don't forget this one is d1, 3 over 2. Okay, I want to believe you get this one. So we have T2 equals to 125 k d1 raised to the power of 3 over 2. And don't forget, look at what we have here. T1 is k d1 raised to the power of 3 over 2. Okay, so let's plug in this value here. Okay, so T1 is this. So we're already seeing this right hand side here. So we can plug in the left hand side since they are the same thing. So I'll have T2 equals to 125 T1. Okay, so that means the second planet is going to have the time of revolution of the second planet is going to be 125 times the time of revolution of the first one. Okay, because we are asked to compare. So that means the ratio of the second to the first now is going to be, we have T2 over T1 now is going to be what? That's 125 over 1. So that's going to be the ratio. So 125 to 1. All right. So, and that is the question. That's what the question is asking for. I want to believe we all get that. Okay. I'll quickly take us through the question again. So, and explain how we arrive here. Now, the question says the time a revolution of planet round the sun is proportional to d raised to the power of 3 over 2, where d is the distance of the planet from the sun. So we have this statement now. Time of revolution round the sun is proportional to d raised to the power of 3 over 2. And that is this. This implies that T1, or just have it implies T1 equals to KD raised to the power of 3 over 2. So I call this one T1 and D1 because it's the first revolution of the first planet. So this is the first planet. Okay, so we have this. Now to the second one, we have been told here now that one of which is, that is one of the planets, is 25 times the distance of the other from the sun. So now the distance of the second planet now is 25 times the distance of the first one. If the distance of the first one is D1, the distance of the second one is going to be 25 times D1. All right, and that is what we have here. Okay, so now we now have an expression for T2, that is time of revolution of the second planet. So we have T2 equals to K 25 D1, because we have D2 is the same thing as 25 D1. Okay, raised to power of 3 over 2. So what is changing there is just this, which is the same thing as D2, and that's what we're supposed to plug in. Okay, so now we just do small mathematics here now. So this power here multiplies the power of 25 and that of D1. So that is how we arrive here. And the 2 here becomes the root of 25. Okay, so we have 3 at the top here. So this still remains. So you find square root of 25, that is 5. You still have 3 at the top here. So we have D1 raised to the power of 3 over 2. So this is 5 raised to the power of 3. So that's 5 times 5 times 5. That gives 125. Now times K times D1 raised to the power of 3 over 2. So here, now we have this here up here. So T1 equals to K D1 raised to the power of 3 over 2. So we just replace this one with T1. And that's what we just did. So that means the time of revolution of the second planet is 125 times the time of revolution of the first planet. And that is what we are asked to compare in the question. So I want to believe you now get the explanation. So thank you. So I'm moving to another interesting question. So let's look at this. Now, this next question, I've solved it in one of my videos. So we are going through it again. Example 3. Okay, yes, this is another question. Yes, I want to believe everyone can see the question and you can hear me clearly. Yeah, yes, I want to believe you can all hear me clearly and you can see the board. Okay. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, now let's look at this problem. Yes. Now the question says, if y varies directly as x raised to the power of n and x equals to 2, and when y is 4, x equals to 4 when y is 64. Find the connecting formula, hence obtain the value of x when y is 25. So how do we solve this? We just follow the same approach. So we have y varies directly as x raised to the power of n. Now, this implies that y equals to kx raised to the power of n, where k is a constant. K is a constant. All right. So now the next thing is to plug in the values of x and y. So let's look at it. The first value of x is 2 and that of y is 4. Let's plug the values in. So we have 4 equals to k times 2 raised to the power of n. Okay. So what is the next thing? Because we are looking for k. So we divide both sides by the coefficient of k. That is 2 raised to the power of n. So we divide both sides by 2 raised to the power of n. So that means these 2 raised to the power of n come under 4. So we'll be having 4 divided by 2 raised to the power of n equals to k. Hope you get that. So now you can simply write this as 2 raised to the power of 2 divided by 2 raised to the power of n is equals to k. You know, 2 raised to the power of 2 is the same thing as 4. So when dividing, you subtract the power. So we have k equals to 2 raised to the power of 2 minus n. So here we can come here and plug in the value of k. So let's plug in the value of k. So we have y equals to 2 raised to the power of 2 minus n x raised to the power of n. Okay, we are not done because we still have n here. So we move down to the question again. We are told that x is 4 when y is 64. So let's plug in the values of x and y. So we have 64 equals to 2 raised to the power of 2 minus n times x is 4, 4 raised to the power of n. Okay, so how do we go about this? Now let's express this one in index form. 64 is the same thing as 2 raised to the power of 6, right? Equals to 2 raised to the power of 2 minus n times 2 raised to the power of 2n. You get that? Because 2 raised to the power of 2 is 4. So now we have 2 raised to the power of 6 equals to 2 raised to the power of, now when multiplying we add the power, so you have 2 minus n plus 2n. Okay, that is 2 raised to the power of 6 equals to 2 raised to the power of, now look at this, minus n plus 2n, that gives you 2 minus plus n. That gives you 2 plus n because you have plus 2n and you have minus n, that gives you plus n. Okay, so now you can see the base is the same thing, so you can equate the powers. So you have 6 equals to 2 plus n. So here, what do you do next? You make n to be the subject of the formula. So we have n equals to 6 minus 2. So n equals to 4. All right, so here we can now get the connecting formula. So let's see what we have here. This is where we're going to plug in the value of n. Okay, so we have y equals to 2 raised to the power of 2 minus 4. Okay, n is 4. X raised to the power of 4. Okay, so we have y equals to 2 raised to the power of minus 2 x raised to the power of 4. And this is y equals to 1 over 2 raised to the power of 2. So this is 1 over 2 raised to the power of 2 times x raised to the power of 4. And that is the same thing as y equals to x raised to the power of 4 over 4. Now this is 2, okay? So, and that is 4. I want to believe you understand that. Now this one translates to this. So when you use this to multiply this, this is what we have. And this is the connecting formula. So this is what we have to find. Y equals to x raised to the power of 4 over 4. Now the question go further to say we should find the value of x when y is 25. So when y is 25, we just plug in 25 here. Now let's do that. When y is 25, so we have 25 equals to x raised to the power of 4 over 4. So we can cross multiply. So you have x raised to the power of 4 equals to 25 times 4. And that's x raised to the power of 4 equals to 100. Okay? So here I can express this as x raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 2 equals to 10 raised to the power of 2. So you can see the powers are the same thing. I can equate the base. The base here is x raised to the power of 2, while the base here is 10. So I have x raised to the power of 2 equals to 10. Right? So here you can take square root of both sides. So we have x equals to square root of 10. And this is going to be the answer to the problem. So I want to believe we all understand that. So it's as simple as what we have here. Okay, so I want us to look at some question under logical reasoning. But before we do that, I want you to do something for me. Now, making use of this connecting formula, I want you to find this. Do this for me. Find the value of y. Find the value of y when x equals to 3. So making use of the connecting formula we have here, this is the connecting formula. We have ended up getting the connecting formula. So now making use of this connecting formula, can you quickly do this? Find the value of y when x equals to 3. So you can do that and drop your answer in the comment section. So let's do that fast before we move down to the next thing. Okay, we have an answer. We have 81 over 4. 81 over 4. 81 over 4. Find the value of y when x is 3. So I can see Adenike's result. Okay, that's y equals to 9 over 4. Yes. Oluwaseun, 81 over 4. Yes. Nwaru, 20 over 25. Okay. Another person, Mujisola. Okay, 81 over 4. Bolan, 81 over 4. Yes, Gabriel, 81 over 4. What of others? Yes, I can see Jamil. Okay, Folashade, 81 over 4. Yes. Okay. Shuta, you are bossed day. Yes. Adenike, I can see Riscott. Okay. Yes, Motorayo, 81 over 4. Okay. Seems a lot of us are getting 81 over 4. Yes, Oleyede, 81 over 4. Let's see that. That is straightforward. So here you have y equals to 3 raised to the power of 4 over 4. This is the same thing as 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 over 4. And this is 9. This is also 9. So 9 times 9 is 81 over 4. But then, this is not the final answer. So you make sure you express your answer in this fraction. I don't think any one of you got the answer. Okay, you only make a good attempt. So now 4 goes in 8, that is 2. It remain okay, nothing. So 4 goes in 1, that is 0. So we have 20 whole number 1 over 4. So I have the correct answer. So every one of you should give your hands, put your hands together for me, because I'm the only person that gave the correct answer. I don't think any one of you dropped this in the comment section. So now let's move down to another question. All right, brilliant students. So this is another question. This question is on the logical reasoning. So I want us to look at this problem together and let's see how we're going to solve this problem. Okay, now the question says let P be 9 is a prime number and Q be 2 is a prime number. And given that P implies Q is the main theorem, find A converse, B inverse, and C contrapositive. Now, to answer this problem, the first thing I need to know is to get or to know the truth value of the statement P and the statement Q, the validity of statement P and statement Q. So now let's do that. What is going to be the truth value of statement P? Now I want you to drop your answer in the comment section. Statement P and the statement Q. What is the validity? What is the truth value of P and what is the truth value of Q? Can we do this now? And drop your answer in the comment section. Let's see the truth value of P and Q. If you know, the answer, drop your answer in the comment section, the truth value. Okay, I need you to tell me that, okay, P is false and the Q is so, okay, so that we get ourselves. Okay, yes, I can see Flaky, yes, P equals to F and the Q is T. Good one. Olashade, P is false. Yes, Riscott, P is false, Q is true. Yes. Okay. Nabila, I can see P is false and the Q is true. Okay. Yes, Nwaru, Q is true. Yes, I can see Nike. All right. Yes, I want every one of you to drop your answer so that after that, I will now give us the right answer because I can see different answers. Okay. Yes, Gabriel, I can see your results. Progress, I can see your answer. Yes, Lukman. Okay. Odeson, yeah. I can see P is false, Q is true. Okay. All right. Okay. 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 Yes, we are all doing fine. We are all doing fine. Yes, let us see. I can see good number of us are doing very fine. Now, look at what we have here. P be a statement. 9 is a prime number. 9 is a prime number. Okay? So, prime numbers, what are prime numbers? Prime numbers are natural numbers that have only one divisors. They have only one divisors. So, now, that is themselves. And all numbers also have one as a divisor. So they can only go in themselves. So example of such numbers are 2, they are 3. What else again? We have 5. What else again? We have 7. What else again? We have 11 and so on. All of these numbers listed is only 2 that will completely go in it. Only 3 can completely go. Only 5 can completely go. The same thing also applies. No other number can go. All right. So now that means, but when you look at 9, 9 have 2 divisors. 9 can go in it, and also 3 can also go in it. So that makes it not to be a prime number. So that means it is false that 9 is a prime number. And the Q be the statement 2 is a prime number. Yes, 2 is a prime number. Okay, so we have true. So this is the first thing we must do correctly. So we must put emphasis on this. You make sure you are correct, because once this thing is wrong, all you are going to do here will likely be wrong. So you have to check and be sure that what we have there is correct. Now let us now move down here. Now you have been given the main theorem. Now the first thing to do here to find the value of converse, inverse, and contrapositive, you must know the mathematical interpretation of converse. So if this is the main theorem, converse is just going to be the reverse of this. So it's going to be Q implies P. And now this inverse is the negation of P implies negation of Q. So we have negation of P implies negation of Q. And the last one, you just reverse inverse. So you have negation of Q implies negation of P. So, and this is what we are going to do. So now to answer the first one, A, converse, which is Q implies P. So we have Q implies P is equals to, now Q is what? True. True implies P. P is false. So what is going to be our answer? Yes, true implies false. What is the answer? I want you to drop your answer in the comment section. So what's going to be the answer? True implies false is what? Okay, so if you check your table very well, you will see that the answer is going to be false. So I'm going to give you the table just to remind us. So look at it. We have P, Q. So P implies Q. We have true, true, false, false. And this is true, false, true, false. Now, true implied true is true. True implied false is false. False implied true is true. False implied false is true. Okay, so we will have false only when you have true implied false. So that's all. So you just need to master this, and that's all. So now this is the first part of the question. Let's look at the second part. So inverse. Inverse. Inverse is what? Negation of P. Negation of P. Negation of P implies negation of Q. Okay, so now let's do that. Negation of P implies negation of Q. So negation of P, what is P? False. Negation of false implies negation of true. So what is negation of true? False, that is true, implies negation of true is what? Is false. So what is false imply true? We just check that now, not quite long. So for true implies false. Is what? Is true. It's true. Good. So it's true. Yeah, so that this is going to be the answer to the problem. Now let us look at the last one. So I want you to try the last one. Try the last one and give me the answer to the problem. Contrapositive. What is going to be your answer? Now making use of this. I've given you the table earlier. So now find the value for contrapositive. Contrapositive. So what's the answer to that problem? Yes, if you have your answer, you drop in the comment section now. Okay, Adewale. Okay, what do you have? All right. Okay. Okay. Yes, Bola, I can see. Okay, you said true. Yes, true, true. Yes. Okay, Folashade, I can see true. Flaky, true. Yes. Any money, true. Okay, you said you made a mistake. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, true. Okay, Waru, true. David, true. Yes. Lukman, Olabisi. Okay. Okay, true. Okay. Okay, okay. Now we said now the answer is true. The answer is true. Okay, I think someone is calling my attention to this. Okay, we have said it now that true implies false. That's supposed to be false. Okay. Thank you for that. So it's going to be false. I can see that. Okay, it's going to be false. It's just like what we just did here. So true implies false is true. So true implies false here is true. Okay, let's take note of that. Yes, that's the correct answer. Okay, yes, now the last one, contrapositive, we have negation of Q implies negation of P. So to do this, we plug in the values. Negation of Q is what? True. Negation of true implies negation of false. And this is false implies true. And that gives us what? True. So that's going to give us true. You only have false when you have true implied false. Others is going to give you true. So that's all about that. So that is the solution to the problem. I want to believe you all get that. So let me give you one more question on the logical reasoning. And let's look at another problem on the logical reasoning. All right, now this is another question. All right, so before we solve this problem, if you are just watching our video for the first time and you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly do that. And don't forget to give the class a thumb. Okay, so let's look at the problem. Now let A be 6 is a multiple of 9 and B 4 is a composite number. So obtain the truth values of the following. Now the first one, A. Now before we start doing this, we need to get the truth value of A and B. Truth value of A and B. So you are going to do that for me now. Okay, so drop your answer in the comment section. What's going to be the truth value of A? What is the truth value of B? A is 6 is a multiple of 9 and B is 4 is a composite number. All right, so what is the truth value of A and what is the truth value of B? Drop your answer in the comment section. Let me see what you have. Okay, I can see okay, Nabila. Okay, Nabila, you are greeting. I want you to drop your answer. Yes. Adewale, A is false. What of B? Okay. Any. A is false. B is true. Yes. Abosede, A is false. Yes. What of the other? Yes, I can see Mayowa. I can see Golahon. Yes. Adebukola, Falashade. Yes. Okay. Modupe, A is true. What of B? Yes. Ngwaru, yes. A is true. B is false. Yes. Oleyede, yes. Gabriel, okay. Shoma, Chozon, okay. Yashuku, okay, Scott. False, A is false, B is true. Okay. I can also see Shomide, A is false, B is true. Yes, David, A is false, B is true. All right. Adewale, yes, I can see what you have there. All right, so now can we do this now? Let's look at the problem together. Now, A, B, 6 is a multiple of 9. 6 cannot be a multiple of 9 because 1, 6, 2, 6 is beyond 9, so it can't be a multiple of 9. So that means it's false that 6 is a multiple of 9. Now, 4 is a composite number. I must know what the composite numbers are. Composite numbers are natural numbers that are not prime numbers, okay, and are greater than 1. So example of such, start from 4. 4 is a composite number because 4 is not a prime number, all right? We also have 6. 6 is a composite number. It's not a prime number. Okay, so now that means it is true that 4 is a composite number, so we have true. Okay, so you are doing fine because I discovered that a lot of you have this as the correct answer. Okay, so now let's look at the first question we have here. Find the truth value of this proposition. So we have negation of A and negation of A and B. Okay, so now let's plug in this value. We have negation of A is what? False. And negation of A is what? False as well. And B is true. Now, negation of false is true. And negation of false is true. And true. So now let's do the one we have in the brackets. True and true is true. Okay, and then we have true and true is what? Is true. So our result is true. Don't forget, you need to understand the truth table for and. And is true. It's only true when the first and the second, the antecedent and the consequence are what? Are true. So once one of them is false, so we have a false result. But when it comes to or, this symbol here, we only have false when both antecedent and the consequence are false. So once at least one of them is true, so we have a truth value of true. Okay, so that is that. So now let's look at the second one. So that's the first one. Now the second one, we have A or B or negation of A. Now let me write the table. Let me control the table here for you so that will serve as a guide. So we have A, B, A and B, and A or B. We have true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. So true and true is true, true and false is false, false, false. Now true or true is true, 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 and false. So this is the table. Okay, so now let's plug in the values of true and of A and B. So let's do that. We have false, A is false, or B is true, or negation of false. Okay, so we have false or true, because negation of false is true. Okay, so now what do we have? And what do we have after this? We have false or, now true or true is true. We have true. And false or true. False or true is true. You can see false or true is true. So we have true. So true is the answer for the second one. So I want you to try this last one and let me see your answer. Just follow this trend now that we just did. Do that in your paper and give me your answer in the comment section. So after a minute, we are going to do it together. So do that and let me see your answer. The truth value of negation of A or and B and negation of A or B. Yes. Do it and drop your answer in the comment section. Okay, all right. Yes, I've not seen any answer. I think just only one or two people dropped an answer here. Okay, I'm sorry. I think that was the network. There was a kind of break in transmission. Okay, so now before they went off, we're looking at this third question. So I asked you to try it. I can see different answers there. So now let's do it together and see what we have. We have negation of A and B and negation of A or B. All right. So that is what we have. And then this gives us negation of, the first one is false. We have false and true, and negation of false or true. Okay. I hope everybody can see now. I hope the network is okay. Can we all see the board? Are we all here? Can we see the board now? Can you hear me? Can you see the board? Okay, good. All right. Now we can move forward now. So since we can all see the board now, okay, so now this turns to now negation of now false and true. False and true will give us false. Okay, so we have false and negation of, so let's do the one inside the bracket. We have false or true. That is true. False or true is true. So you can always verify that on this table. So false or true, so it's true. So now we have negation of false is what? Is true. And negation of true is false. Okay, so our final answer now is going to be false because true and false is going to give us false. So this is going to be the answer to the problem. So I want to believe every one of you gets what I did on the board. So if you can all see the board, all right, so that is good. So we are going to be stopping here. So spend a lot of time here. So now we are going to be stopping here. So I want to advise you. Now you can pick up your textbook and lay your hands on one or two questions that is similar to what we have done. The more you practice, the better you become. So don't relax. Keep on solving and you become a better mathematician. Okay, so I want to appreciate every one of you for joining me on here today. So thank you very much. If you are new in this channel, so if you have not subscribed, ensure you subscribe. This is what we do online. So anytime we are on here, you'll be duly notified if you subscribe. And don't forget, if you are yet to give a thumb to the class, ensure you do that. So thank you, everyone. So take good care of yourself. Bye-bye.